So today's topic is the things that I would never do to my fine hair again. So bear in mind, these are all things I have done in the past and I would not do again because A, I've learned and I know better now. And B, I'm just really focused on length and health at the moment. So if you have been following me, you'll know my goal is length retention. I want to get to waist length by my birthday next year, which is in about 7 months' time. So all of these things are obviously linking to my ultimate overall health goals. If you have any tips or anything you want to share with me in the chat, drop it in the chat and I will answer as I go if I've got any questions. So, the first thing that probably I would never do again, I experienced this very, very early on in my life, was relaxer. So, I would never do a relaxer again. I did this when I was about 11 or 12 years old because I really did not want to wear my hair in braids or plaits anymore because when I was younger, my mum used to always braid my hair. And I was just at that stage where I was in secondary school and everyone had straight hair around me. I had no one who looked like me or wore their hair in a curly state or whatever. So I wanted straight hair like my peers, and that's how I thought I could get it, was by relaxing my hair. And I relaxed my hair, and granted, it wasn't the worst relaxer I've ever seen. It wasn't massively short or anything like that, but it was only to my hair only ever grew to this length, and it wasn't, I won't blame the relaxer because it wasn't just the relaxer why my hair was constantly breaking off. That's my second point. But I don't need a relaxer. My hair actually stays well straight with just blow drying and a silk press. So I don't know why I thought I could only achieve that kind of straight silky look with doing a relaxer. Never again would I do a relaxer. I absolutely love my curls and I embrace my curls nowadays. So never again. The second thing that we are not doing, as well as a relaxer, is we are not straightening every single day. Believe it or not, at the time I was doing the relaxers, I was straightening my hair for school every single day, which is wild to me. I would never, even now, I don't even straighten my hair. Maybe I haven't even straightened my hair in the past year, which is crazy, and I'm talking with hair straighteners. And at that time when I was at school, I was straightening it every single day for school. And I'm just like, that is crazy to think that I was putting my hair through all of that heat and stress on a daily basis. And I think back and I think, no wonder your hair did not grow past your shoulders because you were just straightening the F out of it every single day for school. So never again would I straighten my hair every day or even that frequently. I'd probably do it once a month if I was a straight haired natural. I'd probably limit myself to something like that. But even now, I don't really wear my hair straight that much. So the next thing that I would never do again is dye my hair blonde. So a little backstory. I got highlights because as a curly girl, I feel like we all kind of go through this phase of wanting to have blonde hair, especially mixed race girls. I don't know what the obsession is with blonde hair, but at some point we all want to just get blonde hair. I got highlights, half a head of highlights, and I absolutely loved it. But obviously it was not light enough for me. So I then went in for another round of highlights, more highlights within the highlights, and lifted me and made me look even blonder. My hair, if you can tell, it's very dark. I would say my hair's colour 2, maybe. So it's very dark. And to lift this to blonde takes a lot of work. And you can imagine how dry my hair was at the time when I was blonde. It was insanely dry. And the fact that at the time I was actually just not even treating my hair like it was dyed either. I was treating it like it was virgin hair and doing the same stuff to it. So of course now I know how you're meant to adapt your routines for dyed and coloured hair. You're not meant to just treat it any old way, and you can't get away with certain things that you could get away with when you didn't have dyed hair. So aside from that, I'm not going to say I would never dye my hair again because I would I am intrigued to see what it looks like auburn or like a gingery colour, but I'm holding out until I get to my length goals. So I'm not going to say never going to dye it again, but I'm never going to dye it blonde again. Big mistake. Hair looked frazzled, ends looked fried, dry as anything. Never again. If I'm looking to the right, it's just because I've got my notes just to recap what I would never do again. So the next thing is moving more onto my recent hair care experiences, and something that I always bang on about. Like, if you follow me, if you're a Kiki Kelly stan, then you will already know this because I bang on about it all the time. It is skipping protein treatments. Last year, and a few years prior to that anyway, I just gave up on doing protein treatments. I got lazy and I stopped doing them. And I was only doing moisture-based treatments, like your deep conditioners. I was just banging out the moisture-based deep conditioners and not putting any protein in my hair. And doing that made my hair very elastic, overly soft, lacked definition, and my curls were just not holding in place. And it became quite weak as a result of it being over moisturized. And there was other contributing factors that played into this over moisturization. It wasn't just the deep conditioners, but it was something else that I'm going to mention in a little moment. But protein balanced out my moisture when I was doing it at the time. So I really understand now the importance of protein and moisture balance. And what I currently do is I now do 1 week of protein, 1 week of moisture. And that's not to say I wash my hair every week, because sometimes I don't wash my hair every week. If I've got mini twists in, I'll wash like every 2 or 3 weeks. So whenever I do the wash day, however, it will be 1 moisture, 1 protein, and I'll alternate it like that. That might be way too much for some of you. If you're maybe low porosity and your hair can't handle protein too often, then that might be not be a great routine for you. But for me, it really works with fine hair, especially because it's really susceptible to breakage and just overall weakness and brittleness. So I now use the Sheer Moisture protein power products. That's a really nice protein treatment. I've found that that works for me. It's not too strong to the point where I can't do it on a frequent basis, and it's not too weak as to where it doesn't have an effect. So that is my current routine. The next thing I will never do again is alongside the protein treatments, a bonding treatment. And for bonding treatments, I am a big fan of the Kurl Smith Bond Salve. And at the time where, I always talk about at the time when my hair was its longest, but this is like when my hair was thick. It was like thick to the ends. Like if you see some of my old pictures that I put on my YouTube, my hair is thick right to the bottom. And that is all I ever want, really. So when it was like that, I was doing pre-poo treatments every week, and I was doing it with the Kurl Smith Bond Salve product, and that is a bonding treatment. And if you know about bonding treatments, you know that they will repair your hair and strengthen it from the inside out, as opposed to protein treatments what work on the outside. So a combination of these two things will really help your hair strengthen up if your hair's weak. And my hair was weak at the time, and doing bond treatments was something that really, really helped me. So yeah, I will never not skip doing bonding treatments again. The second to last is leaving my hair wet all the time. So this is mainly linked to air drying, and I'm not saying that air drying should be avoided, because it shouldn't. Ultimately, air drying is like the best case scenario, because excessive heat is not good for our hair, but neither is keeping your hair wet for a prolonged period of time. And that is what I was doing without realizing. I was just braiding my hair up while it was damp, leaving it like that and not actually drying it, and going to bed with wet hair. Not wet, it wasn't soaking wet, it was damp. Going to bed with damp hair, and then leaving it all the next day while I was at work. I had damp hair, and it still wasn't dry by the next day. And it's not because I've got low porosity hair, because I haven't. But if you think about it, if you're putting your hair into braids when it's damp, it's never going to dry. It's kind of like locked in, and it makes sense why my hair was so weak and over moisturized. And it was because I was leaving it damp alongside over moisturizing with the deep conditioners every week and skipping protein treatments and bonding treatments. All of those things I feel just contributed to my hair being over moisturized. So that is another thing I'm never going to take for granted again. I will always now make sure I go in with my bonnet hairdryer, put it on my head for like half an hour, 20 minutes, just to make sure the style is actually dry and it's not wet, and I'm not going to bed with wet hair. Because if you're like me, if you've got fine hair, you do not want to make that mistake again. Do not go to bed with wet hair. The last one is, this is number 7, extending my trims past 6 months. Now, I'm really trying to get up to 6 months. It's something I would never do again if my hair was in a great condition. And I feel like it's a little bit of a double standard, this one, because I'm saying I'm never doing it again. But if my hair got to the point where it was thriving, it was long, it was healthy, and I didn't need to trim so often, I wouldn't trim so often. But there was one time in my life where I left my hair and it was 6 months between trims, and the ends were absolutely, they were just fried. Like, I don't know what I do sometimes to my ends for them to be so split, and so they're literally like this at the ends. And I'm like, is that my hair? What is happening? I didn't think it was that bad. But when your hair's curly, it hides so much of the split ends, so much of the damage, so much of the unevenness, so much of the thinning at the ends. And I know some people really don't care for thick ends. Like, I've done research on a lot of naturals, and some of them don't care about their ends being wispy. That is not me. I like it to be thick from root to tip and not look like a little rat's tail. So I'm going to always make sure my ends are trimmed and they are even, they are thick, and they are full. So for me, 3 to 4 months is the sweet spot for me getting a trim. After that point, all hell breaks loose on the ends of my hair and I can't do it. So making sure I keep a good trim rotation is really key. Not going too long, but as I mentioned, if I can get to that 6 mark spot, then I will. Hey, Kiki, come on, y'all. Let's give my girl likes. Yes, give me the likes. Hey, Adrienne97. First comment of the day. I'm actually just trying to get used to doing these lives because I've only gone live on TikTok before, and it's a bit different. It's not that it's different on YouTube. It's not different. It's very much the same, but there's a lot less people, and on TikTok, people are more in and out, which is fine. I don't mind. We'll build it up and we'll get there. But yeah, if you've got anything to contribute to this topic, let me know in the comments, because I would really like to know what you would never do again to your hair. And hopefully we can share our experiences and just make it so that we don't have to make others' mistakes, because that's really what this channel is about. It's about sharing your experiences and coming together as a community to make sure that we get to our hair goals, have the healthiest hair possible, and ultimately enjoy our hair. It's all well and good having like these really crazy length goals and trying to get to like waist length, but also enjoying your hair at the same time, because sometimes for me, I don't enjoy doing twists and braids every single week. I need a break. I need to let my hair out. I need to let my hair down. Hey, Miss Paris, is the Rev Air sold in the UK? Would you have ever used one? Do you know what? I've scoured the internet for the Rev Air in the UK, and it says it is not sold most places, but there's Selfridges that it's saying it is sold, and I actually need to go into the store. I'm so lazy. I don't actually like going into central London. I live on like the outskirts of London where it's quite quiet, and going into London is a bit of a trek sometimes for me. And Selfridges, which is like a designer department store, apparently sells it, and it's about £300-400 I think that it's saying. And I need to actually just go and check it out and see, because 100%, if I had the Rev Air, I would be using it every single wash day, because that thing looks like it is a godsend for us girls who have like hair that needs to be stretched pretty much all of the time, which is me. So I'm so jealous of you girlies in the US who get access to the Rev Air. I don't know why they don't make it accessible to us over in the UK. Maybe because there's not enough market over here. I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely get the Rev Air. I think the Rev Air gave me a little heat damage. Maybe I had the settings too high. Yeah, do you know what? I have seen a couple of people say they got heat damage from the Rev Air, but I think it's probably just down to the way you use it, because to me, it doesn't look like a product that would, do too much damage if you use it the right way. I think there's risks to every heat styling tool that if you use it in the incorrect way, it will probably give you heat damage. Or maybe if you use it too often without heat protecting and you're maybe overdoing it, I don't know. But I am so jealous of you having the Rev Air. I really, really want one, like so bad. Now I'm just using the Revlon brush. I've got like this Revlon, it's actually here. At the minute I'm using this. And everyone says this is like not the greatest thing to style and blow dry your hair with. But again, like I said, if you know how to use it, which I do, it's not a detangling product, I think it's fine. So not that I blow dry my hair that often. I try and not do it too often, every like 2-3 weeks. Sometimes when I'm on a bit of a stint of doing protective styles, I'll do it more frequently. And especially in the winter, like I can't be bothered with having wet hair and doing wash and goes and wet styles. Just can't be bothered at all. I want my hair to be dry. So yeah, on those topics, where's everybody from? Are we all US based in the chat? Or are we from the UK? Have I got any people who are from England? Would love to know. And also, tomorrow's live. Oh, Nigeria. I'm half Nigerian. That's so cute. England. Hey, England. US. Michigan. I'm not very familiar with Michigan or Pennsylvania. I've heard of them, but I've never been there. I've only been to Ohio. Cool. I've been to New York, LA, Florida, Vegas, and that's it. That's about it. The other places, I'm still intrigued to go to other places in the US. But yeah, it's so cool that we're all from different parts of the world. But yeah, as I was saying, tomorrow's live is going to be like an Ask Me Anything. I'm slightly regretting it now because some of the responses I've been getting on this NGL link are a little bit personal. So I'm going to try and scare around the ones that are like asking me who my exes are and to name them, because I won't be doing that. But yeah, if you've got a question for me, one of my lights just died. Put it in the link at the bottom of the chat. I've pinned the comment. Send me your like embarrassing Kurl confession or ask me anything, which is I will answer the sensible ones. I'm not answering nothing that's not sensible and inappropriate. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the live today. Have a rest of a good day if it is the beginning of your day or evening. And I will see you in tomorrow's live.